Todd Chrisley sweeps in and defends Savannah from Chase in a recent Chrisley Knows Best TikTok. Keep reading to find out what's going on with these Chrisley siblings. The clip begins with what looks like a martini, so it's likely that Todd's kids are joining him for something related to Beckett's Tonic Stem. Beckett's Tonic Stem is a mocktail brand. They offer a great alternative to alcoholic beverages. As TV shows Ace previously reports, Todd and Savannah both post on social media about these mocktails. In a trailer that Chrisley USA shares on TikTok, Chase and Savannah Chrisley are hanging out. Savannah says, "Honestly, I'm going to all of Dad's shoots if the light is this good." Chase Chrisley is hung up on the fact that his sister looks like a flamingo. In the clip, the Sassy by Savannah creator is wearing a coral-colored high-neck top with large ruffled short sleeves. The shirt fits snugly, and she has it tucked into tight, high-waist jeans. Chase instructs his sister to put his leg up. Savannah Chrisley obliges her brother and mockingly says, "Oh my gosh, I'm a flamingo, so funny," while dramatically waving her arms around. It's about this time that their father, none other than Todd Chrisley, walks into the room. Savannah asks her dad if she looks like a flamingo. He says, "I think you look stunning. You look like a female version of me." The clip of Todd, Chase, and Savannah Chrisley is well received among fans. Fans agree Savannah is a female version of her dad. Other fans leave comments that share the sentiment that Savannah makes a pretty flamingo. Of the more touching comments is one that praises Todd for his parenting. "Dad did a real good job with you guy. He never gets it wrong. My favorite TV family." Do you think Savannah Chrisley looks like a flamingo? Does it seem like Todd Chrisley always chooses Savannah's side? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. Make sure to come back to TV shows Ace for more Chrisley Knows Best new. The Georgian sun hung low over the Nashville hills, drenching the Chrisley estate in gold. It had been an unusually tense week in the Chrisley household, the kind of week where even the walls seemed to listen. The once cheerful banter between siblings had thinned into strained silences and passive-aggressive comments muttered under breath. Todd Chrisley had seen it all before. Sibling rivalry wasn't new. But this was different. This felt like a storm that needed to be stopped before it swallowed something sacred. Todd sat at the long marble island in the kitchen, sipping on his third espresso, watching the drama unfold like it was bad reality TV, the kind where you knew it was scripted but still couldn't look away. Savannah, his fiercely independent daughter, had just slammed a drawer shut with the kind of force that said more than words ever could. She was dressed to the nines, as always, a designer tracksuit, hair in a high ponytail that could pierce clouds, lashes thick enough to fan flames. But her face was tight. Anger, maybe. Hurt, definitely. Across from her stood Chase, arms folded, face smut with that crooked smirk he wore when he knew he'd pushed someone too far but didn't care. "You act like you're the only one in this family with ambition," Chase said, shaking his head. Savannah didn't reply. She reached for her keys on the counter and started to walking away like always. Chase called after her. "God forbid anyone challenged Saint Savannah." Todd's patience snapped like brittle twine. "Enough," he said, voice low and sharp, slicing through the room like a knife. Both siblings froze. There was something about their father's tone. Not loud, not wild, just final. It was the voice that shut down arguments, sent people to therapy, and once made a grown man cry in the HomeGoods parking lot. Savannah turned slightly, eyes still blazing, but she stayed quiet. Chase shifted uncomfortably, rubbing the back of his neck. Todd rose slowly, setting down his espresso with the grace of a man who never made a move he hadn't considered twice. "Let me make something real clear to both of you," he said, fixing Chase with a stare. "But mostly to you, son. You don't get to come for your sister like that." Chase opened his mouth, but Todd's hand came up. "Not today. Not one word of defense. Not 1 ounce of deflection. I don't care if she called you out. I don't care if she said something that bruised your pride. You do not get to belittle her just because she's out here trying to build something for herself. Chase looked down, his jaw clenched. Todd took a breath, walked to the window, then turned around, eyes softer now, but still lit with the kind of fire that came from deep parental instinct. Protective. Honest. Borderline dangerous if you crossed it. Savannah has been carrying this family in more ways than you can imagine. She's taken hits publicly and privately. She's kept her head up when this whole damn world tried to tear it down. He never said she didn't work hard. Chase tried. But Todd cut in again. No. You said she walks away. You said she plays victim. But let me tell you something about your sister. He turned to Savannah then. She doesn't walk away. She chooses peace. There's a difference. Savannah's eyes flickered, and her jaw trembled, just slightly, but she stood tall, as she always did. Todd walked over to Chase now, standing directly in front of him. You think ambition is a threat to your manhood? He asked, voice lower now, almost a whisper. Because it's not. Your sister being driven doesn't mean you're not. But tearing her down? That only means one thing, you're insecure. It hit like a slap. She's got grit, Todd continued. She's got vision. She's working while you're whining. She's building while you're bragging. Chase looked like he wanted the floor to open up and swallow him whole. I'm proud of you two, Todd said, softening for a moment. But being a man isn't about having the loudest voice in the room. It's about knowing when to listen. Then Todd turned, facing both of them now. I didn't raise y'all to compete. I raised you to protect each other, to support each other. This family is all we have. And let me remind you, we've already had enough vultures trying to tear us apart. He paused, letting the silence hang for a moment. I will not stand by while one of my children becomes the enemy inside this house that landed. The words heavy and clear. Chase exhaled, running a hand through his hair, his voice small. I didn't mean to come off like that. I've been feeling like no one sees what I do. Like maybe I'm invisible compared to her. Savannah's face softened. She blinked twice, shoulders lowering. You're not invisible, she said. But maybe you've been so busy trying to be seen that you forgot we're on the same side. Todd smiled. Not wide, but the kind of smile that showed relief. The storm had passed, at least for now. He walked back to his espresso, took a sip, and muttered, finally, some clarity. Maybe now I can finish a cup of coffee without having to play therapist. Chase let out a short laugh, scratching at his temple. Guess I needed a reality check. Son, Todd said, glancing over, you needed a reality series and a scripture reading. Savannah chuckled, a sound that loosened something in the room. Todd walked over to her, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear like he used to when she was little. Don't let anyone, not even your brother, dim your shine. You've earned every bit of it. She nodded, eyes misty. And you, Todd said, turning to Chase with a smirk. If you want to be seen, show up. Show up for your family. Show up for yourself. Don't throw shade just because her light is a little brighter right now. Chase nodded, humbled. Todd clapped his hands once, loud. All right. Group hug or tequila? Both, Savannah said, wiping her eyes and laughing. They all met in the center of the kitchen, imperfect, complicated, but trying. Because that's what family was. Not perfect harmony, but relentless effort. As they stood there, arms around each other, Todd thought to himself, if love had a language, it was this. It was defense. It was truth. And it was knowing when to fight for your own, even if it meant standing between them. Because when you're a Chrisley, you don't let the world tear you down. And you sure as hell don't let each other do it either. The sprawling Chrisley estate lay bathed in the late afternoon sun, shadows stretching long across the manicured lawns. Yet inside the grand house, the atmosphere was anything but calm. The usual hum of conversation and laughter was replaced by a heavy, suffocating silence that seemed to grip every corner, every surface, and every heart. Something had shifted, something old and familiar but unspoken, a tension crackling between two siblings who once shared a bond but now found themselves at odds. Todd Chrisley watched it all unfold from the kitchen, leaning against the cool marble countertop, his mind sharp and steady. The house felt charged, like a powder keg waiting to explode, and Todd knew the moment called for a kind of quiet strength only a father could summon. His gaze drifted to Savannah and Chase, his children, standing opposite each other across the vast space of the kitchen, their expressions locked in a silent battle. Neither one spoke, but the weight of unsaid words hung heavy. Savannah's posture was defensive yet unwavering, a fortress of pride and resilience. Her eyes, usually sparkling with mischief and warmth, now bore the fierce intensity of someone who had been pushed too far but refused to back down. The subtle tension in her jaw revealed the effort it took to hold her composure. Todd knew that look well. It was the same determination he had seen in her since she was a little girl, the spark that had made her who she was.